of the day. Hoping for something new, something crazy. Honestly, whether that's an Afreeca Freecs new pick or a Glad plane, I'll take the new on this particular series.
Well, we're going past 11 p.m. here. Yasuo going to be the first ban away by Jin. Don't want that one in the hands of Kuro, and the Nocturne still going to be banned away.
Bum, bum, bum. Morgana is going to be banned, the flex pick for a lot of teams. Only support so far today. It was like ages ago that Morgana was played in the game. That's because it was.
It was.
Physically ages ago. In terms of hours, at least. Leah banned away. We still have it in a funnel game on patch 8.12.
Which is fine.
You know, as a once in a while, I'm not a huge hater. But as a standard strategy, I'm not a big fan. Swain ban gonna come out this time. Jin played it in game number 1 of the series. Won't be going for it. They have a different first pick in mind. My imagination conjures up the first pick Zoe as a pick for them.
Could be. Could be Grace going for that. The Rakan final ban by Afreeca. So enough respect being shown over to Nova, and maybe just the Sejuani lock-in. Yep, will be picked up here for Umti yet again.
Umti was never able to pick up a lot of wins on the Sejuani, the Fleet Footwork Sejuani that he played in game number 2. But it was always a pick he actually excelled on because it does a bit of everything, and he was very aggressive playing around lane priority to make it work. Getting lane priority on blue side, a little bit trickier to have strong lanes to jungle around. And Mowgli sees the Skarner. And you know what? He might just be going for the Skarner, as I'm sure the same sort of screams are happening on in your mind, Gilius.
Yep. Well, Skarner going to be locked in for him. We'll see how he fares with this pick.
I'm ready for something
on to
new.
the next pick.
Let's do it now. Give me the newest pick you have, Afreeca.
Ah, a Zoe, perhaps.
Kuro's definitely, he's biting a finger here. He's not sure about which way to go. And he's going to go with the flex pick Vladimir instead. Not something new, but not the Zoe priority in the first 2 rounds. How long has it been since Zoe made it through 2 rounds of picks?
Been quite some time.
Jin seems surprised, honestly. Now, if you Zoe here, does Kuro pick himself a LeBlanc and double ban something else, and then just have a winning lane matchup straight up? Now the mind games are wondering, because why wouldn't Kuro have taken it, you might ask? Maybe Jin will just avoid the pick as a whole.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be the Zoe.
Give me the
So
LeBlanc.
Lucian and Zoe, do we just see the LeBlanc here?
That'd be awesome.
And throw that Vladimir either into the top lane or into the bot. Maybe the Aurelia? Kuro's been playing this one up quite a bit as of late, but
A lot of people playing the LeBlanc, so you can understand the Aurelia as a more standard matchup with the Galio if you wanted to go for team fight. Not going to show it. He's in fact just going to flash the Aurelia as a mind game, it appears.
first ban Renekton then, perhaps, with the Aatrox locked.
You would really hope so. If not, then maybe he's mid lane.
We did see Faker play this
True.
just yesterday.
With teleport against Rise Kindred, and he won lane. It was just the most Faker things. They're saying, no, we'll play it top lane.
Yeah. So Renekton off the board for the Aatrox to give Keen a comfortable laning phase. It's a very rough one there in that second game.
Imagine he leaves Mundo open. Some people ban Mundo in this scenario because Mundo can get to a critical mass of beef and not be able to be taken down.
Already solo killed Soan in game 1 in that exact matchup, so maybe they're a bit more willing to leave it up. But we'll see what they're feeling. It's going to be the Darius banned away instead.
2 of the lane busters are taken out, so maybe we will see Soan default to the Mundo. Another good game where you can consider an Ornn on the side of Jin, and Soan does play a whole lot of that Blacksmith. Final ban here. Will it be another coverage ban for the Zoe? Again, LeBlanc is certainly in the wheelhouse of Kuro. Wait on and no. They're just going to be happy with an Aurelia ban and pack it up and say no Shen playmaking for Tucson. Looking for support and mid lane on the side of Afreeca. Could also be a mid lane Vladimir, but not really expecting it.
Picks coming through. Kuro doing some thinking. You already mentioned the Galio.
Yep. It's a very good pick. Has
Maybe that's
damage
just gonna be the
reduction. They also have now Skarner Galio, the Dark Flight and the Galio. They don't quite have a Camille, but otherwise they are in great stead to pull off engages. on the side of Jin Air. Not the most to actually block with the Unbreakable, you would say. But Lucian Braum needs no introduction as a bot lane duo.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and be locked up so can proc those concussive blows very rapidly.
A lot of kill pressure onto a Vladimir because if you get the stun down, doesn't matter if they pull, you can just cull them afterwards. So a lot of kill pressure from Lucian Braum, an oldie but a goodie. Final pick here for Jin Air. Top lane, will it just be Ornn? Or will it be a skill matchup? So one made his name on carries, but the Riven days seem so far behind him. Will just be the Ornn. So initiation, poke, domination of pretty much any duo you put in the bot side with Lucian Braum.
I mean, this is a very beefy team from the side of Jin Air. This is maybe where you wish that you had locked in a Trundle instead, but hover over the fiddlesticks for Tucson.
Tahm Kench open, and a lot of teams would take Tahm Kench in this scenario because they power picked Braum away from you. And they'll go for the Alistar again. Now this time, he has a lot of backup. He was lacking backup in the previous game. Now, he might even just have a Gargoyle on his back, so Freecs can find a lot of engage, and you know, not a lot of ambiguity about this. If they can get a lot of items onto Keen, they'll split push. Otherwise, everyone's going for a ride into the middle of the hero's entrance.
Yeah, this is definitely a bouncy castle comp. We've ever seen one with a Hemo Plague. Just go ahead and cover the ground underneath of the members of Jin Air.
All right, now Teddy and Braum swap. Okay, there you go.
Be unfortunate if they miss that.
Oh, yeah.
I guess you could just shift PCs, just move one over to the side. But here we go, guys. Last game of the night. Didn't quite get the full 9, but we've made it to 8. Going to be going beyond 11 p.m. 10:50 right now, just about in Korea, as we get ready to jump in this final game. Jin Air.
Rolling into the final game of the night. 8th game. We started at 2 p.m. local time, but we have the fixed starting time, so that's why the schedule has gone this way. Still, really appreciative of the 100 or so fans who stuck around till very, very late in Korea.
Dedication right there.
And to all you viewers in your respective time zones. Had a lot of people come through the stream and understandably not stick together for the entire time. As Lucian has been, from reputation, picked a lot this season, but I feel like a lot of those losses were against the likes of the Vladimir, against the likes of the weird and wonderful bot lanes we've had so far. Mostly on 8-11 with 8-12. They've been forced out a little bit. Afreeca Freecs refusing to go anywhere near marksman where possible. But they've gone to Kuro's old favorite, the Galio. We'll see if Mowgli can have a better showing on the Skarner this Spirit.
Thought maybe, with aiming coming in, that we would see a standard 80 carry pickup. He has been the one to actually run those, but no, he's going to be going for the Vladimir as well. As Tucson finally gives us some cowbell.
The unseen cowbell.
That's the deadliest.
I gotta admit, I'm actually really upset with Kuro for going for this skin that I actually hate. I really don't like that Galio skin. I'll take any of the others, including Vanilla.
I actually didn't even spot which one he's going
It's the legendary one. Really not a fan. But that's only a very small thing. We could see a battle for that Scuttle, and it seems like Mowgli decides that no.
He's just gonna bounce out of there. He saw that the Braum was on the way.
Very hard to get any advantages around the Vlad Alistar lane because Lucian Braum is just the biggest lane bully you could ever ask for from conventional wisdom.
Yeah.
So we'll end up giving up the Scuttle.
Well, already not a good look that Mowgli had to just dip out of that Scuttle Crab. In the meantime, exhaust coming down. Grace just going to be one that he picked up. Kuro to answer.
Keen's the big benefactor from Big Ban in game number 3 compared to game number 2, where he thought he found a spot for an 8-truck. So spoilers, he did not. Renekton came out and did his Renekton thing. Mowgli just desperately would love Scuttle Crab. He's going to get the topside one, so
Come here, please don't come here.
good work. Good hustle from Mowgli.
Goes 1 for 1 on that. In the meantime, Keen is going to be farming up. See how much of a threat he can be to this Ornn.
Ships in the 9th for now. Umti.
Ship's maybe about to crash.
Yeah, they're definitely sniffing around each other, but they don't actually have any confirmation. Smite up from
Mowgli will be
Mowgli.
able to get this.
Prefer not to use it. Oh!
Yep, one final attack. Umti, however, going to be wrapping
Still
around
get
the
collapsed
side.
on.
Yep, this could be a bit rough here.
Let's watch the laners. Seems
King's
like Orin's
coming
going to get there.
Both of them going to get stunned up at the same time. So on, coming down. Grace as well, getting the pinch here onto Mowgli. I think he might just go down, flashes to the side, gets a shield. Keen coming in, looking for that kill onto Umti. Will not find it. Now he's going to be slept by the trouble bubble. First blood already picked up by So-On. Flashed away by Keen. Flash forward from Grace. He's got another flash ready to go. Flashes in. Shots coming through. Looking for the pop up there. Keen jumps to the side with the Dark Flight. Kuro puts himself in harm's way. The Aatrox will get out alive, but Jin Air yet again picks up the first blood.
Pretty insane that Keen gets out of that one. Looked like he was dead to rights. Kuro kind of gave up. He was already backing. He ended up interrupting the back and was able to channel the taunt to guarantee the escape. A charmed escape, but like you say, from very early in the piece, it seemed like Afreeca knew they weren't going to be in a good scenario as Mowgli caught with his hand in the cookie jar. For so long, there wasn't the confirmation, but the moment he saw him kiting topside, Umti knew he had his man.
Very solid pickup coming through there. Gets it onto the Ornn. Which will make this lane a bit more survivable here for So-On. Picks up a Sheen.
Sorry, the Piggy got very weirded out by the pathing bug with the minion coming in. And you're right, Sheen very early for the Iceborne Gauntlet to try to take some decent trades. Bellows Breath into a super auto attack and also some max HP damage. It's a pretty good trading tool, it turns out. It's at the cost of a Frozen Heart, but you look at the enemy team and you say, they don't have an AD carry. Don't even need a Frozen Heart.
It's going to be multiple flashes down on all sides.
I think a lot of people will look at this series and, you know, take a
Say,
step
what
back.
happened?
Take a step back and more generally ask what happened to Afreeca Freecs, because I sat there at the start of the season and I said Afreeca and KT, these two teams are really shaping up well. KT have also got the talent. Afreeca Freecs have got the coaches and the research, and the Afreeca drop-off has been very surprising. They seemed very ahead of the meta when it was in flux, and we've always given a lot of praise towards their drafting coach Zephyr, who went over to Hong Kong with the Korean national team, but just in weird ways they've kind of fallen apart. I thought their drafts last series against Han were quite poor. For himself will be able to get away because Galio. Some of their play this series have been pretty disjointed, and they seeded the early game in a way they just couldn't afford to Jin Air in game number 2. There's been a lot of surprising factors as we just saw one person caught. What about another type of catch?
Decision on a roam. Smite comes down. Umti will go ahead and claim the big Raptor. Not going to be getting anything for that.
Have a chair.
No, but just going to go ahead and hit him with the seal chair.
No disqualification on the Rift, by the way. I don't think we always announce that, but no DQ rules. Not quite a hardcore match, but if enough kills come through, we can just call it a hardcore match. Bot lane, being only 10 CS behind a Lucian Braum is pretty good for the Vladimir, all things considered. We take a deep breath, we sit back in our chairs, get comfortable. Achilles, this could be another long one on what has already been your first exposure to Super Wednesday.
And the only exposure. So, there's at least maybe a slightly fortunate takeaway from this. No, I'm just kidding. More League of Legends. Always good. I'm sure there's plenty of people who tuned into the beginning of the broadcast and like, by the way, LCK is on early again. But you know what? I watched that first series. Man, MVP got clapped. I'm going to go to bed. And now they've woken up and they're like, oh, hey, LCK's still on.
And I think that's cool. You know, I've definitely had that when watching streams before. Usually on personal streams, like a Scar 24-hour stream or something. But I do appreciate people joining us. It's been, again, a bit all over the place. The first series, so different to the two that followed it. Our expectations in the dumpster. We're like, okay, Hanwha and MVP, they're pretty equal. What's going to happen? Hanwha smashes them. And the two kind of winners-elect in Gen G into Afreeca Freecs have both toiled pretty hard in their series.
Well, there's nothing like getting first blooded that makes you want to slow down a game, so Afreeca try to play this one out as patiently as possible. Frozen, or I was going to say Frozen Fist, but Iceborne Gauntlet getting ready to come through for So-On.
Isn't it amazing how many people call the item Frozen Fist, even though it never was released as Frozen Fist?
Yeah, it's just, you know, got that short-handed, it's not really short-handed at all, but
He's got the FF alliteration going on. It looks like a Frozen Fist.
I mean, I believe you can type in Frozen Fist in the shop as well, and it'll pop up.
It was only ever on PvE is the Frozen Fist. When it hit the main client, it was already the Iceborne Gauntlet. I don't really see the reason for the change, but it's fine. It's not one like Rat-a-tat-tat, where everyone was just instantly mad.
Yeah, that was one that people got triggered by.
Definitely a sequel of things in that kind of era where people were upset. Dynamic Q was not too far after. But here we are. Dynamic Q in the rearview mirror. Spray and Pray returned. Jin Green Wings on the precipice of a Glad Plane for the first time of the season.
It's just going to be the Culling coming down. It's a lot of damage in on the aiming. But again, Vladimir not going to be forcing him back. In the meantime, Keen is back behind the turret.
Trying to stay away from Searing Charge into the wall range.
Mowgli
Chillin'.
is hanging out. T arrives here into the bottom side. Zoe maybe on a bit of a roam as well. We'll be cutting back over to the mid lane, so not going to be seeing the 4-man bot.
One of our old metrics for how a mid lane roaming champion was doing was control ward lines. Double control ward on the bottom side. So Galio, who wants to pack up and join Tucson on an engage, will be spotted very early. Good stuff, as it's definitely the most reliable way for Afreeca Freecs to find a hero's entrance in the early game.
Mowgli pushing forward. They'll clear out the control ward and also dissuade that Mountain Drake from being taken. That was the start. Game 2 for Jin.
A slippery slope. On the Drake, as there's the Frozen Fist, Kilios. It's done.
All set, ready to go. So on.
It's a lot better than Tiamat.
Ready to smack some people around.
Pretty cool not having back timings, but that is just a special thing coming through from the Orin.
Aiming gonna get stunned up, takes a lot of damage.
Oh. Rough lane against the Lucian Braum that we haven't seen in Korea in a long time. I'd love to see a flash info for last time we had Lucian Braum in the bot lane. I'm gonna say 2017 spring, maybe?
It's been a while.
Been a really long time. Even though it's always been good.
Lucian went out of the meta for quite some time.
True.
Finally makes his way back in, and here we go back on that slippery slope. The Mountain Drake will be finished off here from the side of Jin. In the meantime, Mowgli takes that as the go to start up the Rift Herald, but Grace is going to stop by and say, hey, another stun. Maybe coming through for aiming, but no, he's got the pull. Get some HP back in the end.
Vladimir just trying to tough it out. You know, he knows in a rough lane. It's not quite Aatrox versus Renekton bad, but it's pretty bad. Trying to get through as much as he can. Probably the same build here from aiming that we saw with the Spellbinder on the way. Mid lane. Kuro and Grace, and for once the Galio gets the better end of the trade.
Yeah. Chunks him out. Grace still going to be fine though. We'll go back.
Whenever you anticipate the portal jump, it's very easy to hit your Q. Nice way to get a trade up on a champion that usually trades from outside of trade range.
Also the Justice Punch. Always be ready with that one. Mowgli zipping in, looking for ulti. Oh!
That was sick.
Beautifully done.
Wow, okay. That was actually really well done. I think it was on purpose. I guess we'd need to slow down to know for sure. We had the interrupt and then flashed over.
Oh, Mowgli, knowing that Umti's down below half HP, will go ahead and start up that Rift Herald yet again. Blue buff going low will get handed off to Grace, who does desperately need that.
Mowgli's like, hey guys, I just want this Rift Herald. I've been spending 2.5 minutes around here. Please give it to me.
Grace looking to steal it away. Not gonna happen. It was close though, but not gonna happen. Is it safe? Can I go get it, please?
He looks like a
dog waiting to get the treat.
Yeah.
I have to be like, it's okay.
Is it safe? Is it safe? I don't know that person. Is it all right?
Like if you have a dog and the cat, and the dog is afraid of the cat, and the cat's sitting in front of his toy. I'm just gonna grab. Oh.
The Rift Herald's a nice little treat to pick up. Something that kind of desperately needed for Afreeca, because previously all the treats had gone the way of Jin in the early game. First Blood and first Turret. Waiting for Kuro's first as well. And I mean by that, I mean first use of the hero's entrance. Might actually be level 2 before he actually gets it off.
It's looking that way. Already 13.5 minutes in, just that first blood coming through for Jin Air. About a 500 gold lead. Start things off. No objectives being taken outside of the Rift Herald and that one Mountain Drake. See where Afreeca is going to try to put that Rift Herald in. Aiming, going to go low. The calling coming through, getting the tags through. Teddy flashing forward. Aiming will go golden. Hero's entrance does come through from Kuro, but not going to be finding any knockups.
Pretty costly that they have to use stopwatch, and crucially, Hero's entrance was level 11, so the cooldown won't be quite as punishing. That's what happens when Lucian walks up, and that was without even a Braum auto attack to set up the concussive blows.
Yeah.
Already a lot of damage done to this turret, and Umti's here as well.
Coming in from the side, TP now going to be drawn out as Kuro looks to join in from mid lane. He's going low. He's just firing away from the side, and now Mowgli coming in. Gets the suppression down, tries to drag him through. Glacial Prison coming over the wall. Grace going to try to exit. Taken dangerously low, but no further aggression to be found from the side of the Afreeca Freecs.
So many almost, but nothing actually registers. No one goes down. Teddy has to leave and disengage with low mana, so maybe the turret take is difficult, but Umti, he's not giving up just yet.
Still pushing forward, clearing out vision where he can. Still wrapping around the backside. Control Ward's going to spot him, but he can take that down. Locally nearby, but no Impale to be worried about for the members of Jin Air.
No Hero's entrance, no Impale. Really not that much threat is.
Oh, Kuro trying to kite his way back. Not going to get clipped by that trouble bubble as Umti pushes forward. No Glacial Prison to try to lock down the Gallios. Kuro will be fine. In the end, can hold on to his flash.
So close to a burst of action in this game. That's kind of been the subtitle of the series. Been a lot of almost, but not a lot of oomph behind some of the attempts. And the setups have been very extended, noticeably from Jin Air in the previous game, where they took forever to start the Baron and actually got stolen under their noses by the Afreeca Freecs. So many tools down. Jin Air could have tried to overstay, but they refill their mana. They go back for a buy. What it all means as Afreeca Freecs are able to delay the turret going down and kind of bail the Vladimir out of the laning phase ending before he wants it.
No crazy pop-off plays to be found from Keen there in that top lane. Teddy's the closest thing that we've had so far to a pop-off, as he's just been wrecking aiming. Hasn't been able to get the kill, however. Summon on the Rift Herald here into the top side.
Couldn't interrupt it with the Q. The Bellows Breath obviously just for damage.
In the meantime, though, Jin Air's still going to be getting the first brick bonus.
But they don't have to slow down to Afreeca Freecs, so let's see what happens further to that play.
Yeah, they can keep on charging forward. Get that extra hit in onto the inner turret.
So what? Amusingly getting knocked aside by Shelly. Shelly goes down finally. Is looking at the damage dealt, and like you mentioned, Achilleos, we've seen most of it on the screen. Most of it's been Lucian trying to chase down Vladimir and slay him. Look at how different the scales are there. About 4,000 extra damage for the Lucian. To bust lane, and so far so good.
Nice poke out there onto Tucson as Teddy goes forward, getting a lot of damage in on the Kuro.
Moving around Teddy is a really good strategy right now. He's hugely powerful. He's level 11. If this monitor does, once again, do me justice. So for him to be level 11, it means a lot of damage on the culling. He's going to feel good about his one-item power spike. Won't die in the initial CC. Speaking of CC.
But Pulverize in onto Nova. Glacial Fisher's going to come down, as well as the Prison. Just dissuading Afreeca from pushing further forward. Cloud Drake going to be started up, which I think Jin Air can basically just go ahead and hand over. Wouldn't be of much consequence. We'll see if they actually want to fight this one out, however.
Freecs have a lot of ultimates up. This is risky to walk up to for Jin Air.
Dragon's going to be going low. Smites there from Mowgli. Afreeca, do they try for any sort of engage? Looks like the answer is going to be no. They'll take the Dragon. They'll be happy with that. Everyone will go their separate ways. Horde coming through. Tucson just going to get melted down.
Oh!
Comes in and so on just runs him down with the ultimate. That is not something that you see every day. Shots coming through. Kuro jumping away with the trouble bubble, and now Jin Air looking to open up this mid turret.
That was definitely a strike coming through from the Orin, but here comes Keen, probably just trying to buy time. Keeping this turret up is really the only objective Afreeca can hope for.
Killing an Alistar with that is like hitting a 7-10 split right there. Oh boy, 2-0. Jin Air maintaining a lead.
Afreeca Freecs don't have a kill on the board this time. Able to get a Drake, but no more. The Gold League slender. The comp from Afreeca is intensely mid-game though, Achilles, and we're watching the mid-game start. Can they actually turn on? Focus flashes up, they can try something.
Breath forward there from Snow1. He'll go golden. Suppression coming through, and that is just going to be Nova going down as Afreeca finally finds a kill. Nearly 20 minutes into this game.
Forcing around the area because they see Lucian in the bot lane. From dying and not losing any HP on the mid lane turret. Again, not the worst for the side of Jin. Waiting for Snow1's next ultimate. How can you even pull up a better one than the first one?
I think it's the same thing like we were talking about with Tucson on the Gragas. Just leave it be. Don't even try to beat that. Bro taking a bit of trade damage there, or exchange damage there at the end as Grace just keeps firing away. They take down that turret, so 2-1 in that regard. Jin moving further forward, 1.2 thousand gold in the lead at the moment.
Is this actually Teddy setting up for Rage Blade onto the Lucian? Could still be Black Cleaver into a Zeal item, but sorry, not Rage, Trinity Force, I should say. Trinity Force from the Phage.
Ooh, a classic.
A real old classic. It could come out here. I don't think it's going to be Trinity Force. I think Black Cleaver into a Zeal item is the more normal choice. But Trinity Force would be fun to see, so we'll have to wait and see if he actually goes that way.
The old, I have all my items, let me sell my boots and get some Triforce action.
Well, Phage and the Dagger versus Phage and a Ruby Crystal, you can understand wanting to build a bit of damage. A Zeal never really goes to a miss. Waiting to see what the decision is from Teddy, who, you know, is really far ahead. He's actually keeping up in items and has a QSS, so he's best of both worlds.
Almost 53 CS up right now while we're aiming.
Rotating around him has been the source of most of Jin's good news. His culling is already cutting through some of the members of Afreeca Freecs.
It makes sense. Teddy has been the shining light for Jin Green Wings in the past. So playing around him certainly seems to be one of the best win conditions you can create for yourself if you're the Jin Green Wings. 3v3 in the top lane. Get a 4v3 as Grace arrives. Double bubble in onto Mowgli in the back. A bit of damage coming through as they knock this turret down to about half. But wave gets thinned out. Jin do not have a tower to retreat to, so have to be very careful.
Need to be trading off, doing quite a lot of damage to these turrets on every minion wave because Galio was mid lane, and in the bot lane, Aatrox getting closer and closer to a second item and coming truly online in the side lane. So Jin end up backing away. Don't really gain too much around the Lucian that time. So one has had a good game so far, and yes, it does appear to be Black Cleaver from the Lucian. Just a dagger for power. Let's see where the game's at. Trying to evaluate whether Jin are going to be happy with their spot, and you definitely say yes. It feels like Afreeca has so much pile-on, so much guaranteed engage, and with a Vladimir hitting 2 items, including healing reduction, I think between 20 and 30 minutes, Afreeca have to show their true colors. If this game continues to inch forward the way of Jin and Afreeca Freecs going to start to miss their window, but their window is so reliable, and it's, again, the sort of window that can lead to a Baron and maybe the game just ending in one big set play. Jin rightfully being a little bit conservative in their move forward.
Oh, into the headbutt pulverize finds 2. Hero's entrance coming down as well as Kuro arrives. Gonna be the Impale coming in as they drag Umpty through.
This will be big.
Fall down to half HP. Ornhorn coming through, knocks up 3 members. Tucson, another 3-man pulverize, but maybe pays for that one with his knife. Goes golden right at the last possible second to try to stay alive. Flashes away, and he will make it out at the same time. Keen rips people apart, finds a double kill, helps hand Kuro over 1. And just like that, Afreeca gonna have the lead, 5-2 now. Kuro gonna get slept, but Grace, he's got to start making his exit. He is the only one left alive on the side of Jin.
What does it mean about Baron if Grace is still alive? Seems like Afreeca say whatever, we're still going to it.
They're all going to be dangerously low. Grace has a lot of siege potential, and everybody is so very squishy at the moment here when compared to this Zoe. Keen, hungry for more, flashes in, looks for the pick, Instead, we'll just lose out on his passive, and the Afreeca Freecs have to abandon the Baron.
So it ends up being a huge success for Afreeca overall, but stopping the Baron is all you could ever ask for from the Zoe. So that's still a really big play by Grace to stall what seemed like the Baron power play that we've been alluding to. It wasn't the ideal wombo, but watch the replay and consider how the front line is able to zone Teddy out of damage. Teddy is the MVP of this scenario, but all he's able to do is open up with a culling, and even though the Ornn ultimate's hitting so many members, Teddy can only really auto onto an Alistar who has his ultimate up, then the stasis begins, then the Vladimir chases him down. So damage to priority targets is almost nil from Teddy because of the terrain that Jin is fighting in. If you have a ward, if you have a control ward, if your front line is stronger, maybe you do more damage to Lucian, but this time, Lucian is chased out.
Yeah, that's a turnaround for Afreeca. So 5-2, they take a gold lead of about 1,000. You can see there, Keen topping off the damage in that last team fight. Teddy will be able to trade back this tower in the top side of the map. So we'll claw back a bit of that gold. But still, 3-1 in towers. They're just about evening it up. So a lot of standing gold for the Afreeca Freecs to claim.
For Jin, you have to really think about where you fight. There can be multiple fights where Galio, Vladimir, and Alistar stand in front of Paddle Stars and Lucian damage, and that is going to be a pretty significant problem before big item purchases come in. Black Cleaver does qualify as one of those to allow him to have a bit more threat, to try to slice through. By him, I mean Teddy. The front line coming through from Afreeca, but their front line is strong. Vladimir can just press Spellbinder and run at the Lucian. So executing on teamfight is going to be a bit of a struggle until we see even more damage coming through from the Lucian.
Yeah, Teddy going to be needing to put this team on his back and have Grace just consistently there, landing those trouble bubbles, forcing out flashes and whatnot from the side of the Afreeca Freecs. They've stabilized things, but it's a pretty even playing field at the moment.
Afreeca are at the item timing where starting Baron and then turning with any sort of wombo is what they want to do. And also, speaking of points...
well, Keen to go ham here in the bottom side, so on. Himself safe. 1-1 comes in, gets the pop-up. He's going to go dangerously low. Neither going to die.
Side lane push getting better and better for Keen, getting closer and closer to being able to take down the Ornn. Under turret, more difficult, but getting closer and closer, and he did get the flash out of the Ornn in that play. Extra summoner that won't be available if a Baron buff power play happens or some sort of Baron contestation happens. In a really fascinating part. Small, slender gold lead to the side of the Afreeca Freecs. Close to death cap for aiming, where he really takes off in terms of damage. Again, to me, start the Baron, turn off the Baron, and Alistar, Vladimir, and Galio will probably be able to do the rest for Afreeca Freecs.
All after that last fight, Keen really trying to make an argument for himself to be the double MVP here today. Which would be fun, because we might get to hear Zeph at the same time.
True. Don't know how many queries they'll have or hard questions about some of these struggles, but I'd love to hear his take on them. Didn't mention it, but before, actually upgraded his Ornn item very early and turned the locket into a super locket, so a bit more resist, but he's got a Cinder Hulk, which has health scaling and some resist, so he's very weak.
Good for the gank here. Find that glacial prison, but Tucson has the ult, so he'll be fine.
He said that to fine if they mean something. You just traded your ultimate for a support's ultimate. What are you going to do now? Are you going to start a Baron? Are you going to look for a play? Are you going to walk up and clear vision? Or is it just, well, let's wait for our cooldown? So,
I mean, Tucson's that much squishier without the ultimate ready to go, so if they could bait them into a fight and blow him up, that might be good. Mowgli going to go golden here right before those guts blows get procced. So getting rid of a stopwatch. A nice little play there.
Up on both of the top laners. Keen level 16. So one hasn't reached that mark yet.
Umpty kind of isolating himself. He charges over the wall. He's just going to get headbutt pulverized into the taunt. Now he's dead. Afreeca Freecs now have an opening to try to get something like the Baron. Not sure what Umpty was thinking.
Brain fade. I don't think he was thinking too much of Kilios. We've seen this from isolated plays from multiple people and so on in game number 1. That's the smite down for free. Afreeca Freecs just owned the pit.
intriguing is one of the only words I can really put to that. Afreeca Freecs now looking for the play. Grace starting to siege up. Tucson going on a secret mission, wrapping around the backside. Not sure if he was spotted out at all. He'll come over the wall, finds a two-man knock up there onto Nova. Hail in onto Sohan as well, as he is just isolated to the backside. Gets that horn in, but he can't even bounce it back the opposite direction. He is just going to get popped as Keen finds yet another kill. 7-2 here. Afreeca Freecs on the board, 1,100 gold up. They will push Jin back. They can retreat over to the Baron pit if they so choose. Clear out that vision. Maybe even try to make a play. Kuro goes forward, finds the taunt in onto Grace, but no follow-up for the kill. In the meantime, it's just going to be a TP here onto the minions in mid as they knock down a turret.
Sejuani is back, but Orin is down for 20 seconds. No Baron play unless we see a huge headbutt pull.
Coming around from the side looking for Upti. Just got respawned, comes back in, might go straight back down, but Tucson taking a lot of damage. Hemo play could get dropped in here from aiming.
Just for disengage.
Catches a couple members, but not going to be getting a big burst of damage there onto Teddy. He'll be fine for the moment. Afreeca Freecs is going to go ahead, peel back, get some vision control around the Baron.
Jin is lucky a couple of times in a row not to lose this Baron. Teddy's low on mana, doesn't have Essence Reaver in this build, at least so far. So we'll have to shop, but it is a full disengage from Afreeca as well. And Afreeca are so close to blowing open this game. I think with the Baron, Alistar can just ult, dive, and they can perhaps end the game in a single Baron buff push. Without the Baron, all they can do is team fight. Not getting multiple members is extending this game once again comfortably past 30 minutes.
So far, 8.12, definitely trending in the direction of slower games, or at least longer ones.
I think it's a combination of the meta being a bit more explored and also Banner of Command, meaning that you can't run as many bruisers, and also Banner of Command being removed, meaning that turrets in general live a little bit longer. Marksmen need more time to get the items to be able to start sieging. Longer laning phase expected, more Gathering Storms also probably on the way. Together, all those things have conspired to, like you mentioned, the 31-minute average time going up.
Ocean Drake going to be taken here by the Afreeca Freecs. Horn coming through. The pop up onto one, into the Glacial Fissures. They look for Kuro. He's going to go golden. Barely staying alive at the moment, as is Keen. He'll get popped. That's going to be Kuro going down. Jin to press this advantage. They have Tucson isolated. They'll take him down. 2 members dead. Do they just go straight for the Baron? Looks like the answer is going to be yes.
Yeah, it should definitely be less. This is the sort of fight where Teddy could actually put out the damage. They could fight down closest target. Previously with all the CC, Keen had been the consistent damage dealer on the side of Afreeca. This time it's the Lucian. This time it's Teddy. This time they're trying the Baron. And with only Mowgli with Smite up, he's not even going to go for it.
Yeah, they are going to get it. Mowgli just clearing out some vision of Afreeca Freecs. On the back foot yet again in this game. Jin will overtake the lead. Now they have the Baron to continue knocking down turrets. Afreeca just gonna get an Ocean Drake.
And the Ocean Drake is where everything went wrong. They realize they're horribly out of position as this play starts. The issue you'll notice is that in the front line, first Kuro has to use his stasis, and then Keen, who previously was actually the biggest damage dealer in the back line, through all the CC of his teammates, is then forced out of position. So one by one, they were able to be focused down by 5 members with a huge terrain advantage on the side of Jin. They take them down, the items roll in, and big cost to the misfire by Afreeca Freecs.
Eventually massive cost, just have to see how much Jin can get done with this Baron buff.
We were seeing
Freecs. Oh man, the damage numbers there are just...
It's because one by one, they gave up their health bars to be in the front line so someone else didn't die. The buddy system was going, but when it came to actually being able to cause threat, it was denied away from them. Now with the Baron and a strong siege, they have a Marksman and a Zoe, even just an Ornhorn to zone. They should bring up 2 minion waves and take some of these inner turrets that so far have evaded Jin.
Rough tidings here for Afreeca. Already the loss against Hanwha Life. Very costly for this team and the reputation they were looking to establish here in Summer. A loss against Jin, even more damning. Teddy just pushing through, looking to solo down this turret in the mid lane.
How
How much that girl can do, that's going to be the Impale going through in onto Umpty, but he's still going to be fine in the meantime. Mowgli going dangerously low. Glacial Prison down onto Tucson, pops the ultimate, keeps him alive right as Kuro arrives. Teddy coming in from the side, Keen jumping forward, trying to lock him down. A lot of damage coming through, Teddy has to flash away. Kuro nearly falls, but they manage to trade one back there onto Umpty looking for another. As So On goes down top in jungle. Going to be eliminated. Afreeca Freecs holding on by a thread. Keep trading back kills.
And every team fight goes one way and then the other when it comes to execution. This time Keen is actually isolated with the Lucian, who walks in, skates in, and then tries to take standing DPS with Keen on Aatrox with multiple items. Here's the problem. Teddy wants to be behind, focusing the same member as his tanks. He goes for a flank, walks up and he's like, I'll just take Keen. No mate, this is Rage Blade. Level 17 on the Aatrox, and that means that Aatrox gets the free hitting that was denied from Afreeca Freecs and led to the Baron.
Bit of a seesaw coming through, just keeps going one way or the other, and Afreeca is actually going to be maintaining a gold lead despite Jin getting that Baron. So On, ready to respawn. Rejoining the squad, we'll see what Jin can even try to get done here.
Well,
turret advantage is gone.
Definitely squandered the Baron buff, you'd have to say.
Yeah.
They had to fight hard to get it. They've won one team fight this game. It led to a Baron. As you see, the Aatrox does just the most damage. That's just Aatrox. That's how Aatrox rolls. And Lucian should never be in range of Aatrox as a conditional range champion, largely a melee champion. Big positioning mistake from Teddy, and you know, you talk about Teddy in the past. Again, he's played less marksman this season, but that's not the Teddy we know and love. So he needs to be very on point if Jin will pick up their first match win of the season.
Elder Dragon going to be on the way relatively shortly here after that Ocean Drake. So, yeah, some gold gained, but again, don't think we're balancing against the gold from the Afreeca Freecs. Eddie on the side, they're going to have the lockdown coming through. He dashes away, manages to stay alive. Culling comes out, and Grace just eliminates Mowgli. Kuro now surrounded, big pulverized coming through from Tucson. It's a massive knockup, but So On will manage to kill the Galio in the end. So far, the 2-for-1 coming through in favor of Jin as they try to kite their way out. Looks like they will be able to do so safely.
Oh, it's still so even. This game's still so up in the air at 36 minutes. Teddy was able to outplay a lot of engage. Used his QSS, got away, didn't even have flash for that. He had made it look easy. But then Aatrox pops the blade, and you start to wonder as Jin if you have enough to actually fully win a fight.
Team pushing very far forward. Go ahead, just work that minion wave into the mid lane tower. Make some jungle creeps on the way out. Cramps.
You getting any cramps over there, Achilles? We are in hour 9.5.
Yeah, I'm running out. I kind of ran out of energy drinks at this point.
Did you know our call time at the studio was 12 hours ago?
I do know that, unfortunately.
Well, we're ready to keep going. We're ready for 94 minutes. Bring it on to us. There's 60 minutes left here, Achilles. Come on. It can't go much past 1 a.m.
I mean, we've been here really, really late before.
This is Super Wednesday.
I mean,
this is what we want. We're feeling great about it. I'm hyped. I've gone to the other side of sleepiness to completely being ready to shout woke? About some League of Legends. I mean, have you met me? Of course I'm woke.
Yeah. This is still baby stuff. We've had some much later nights. Winter 2017 comes to mind.
Hey, 8.1 comes to mind.
When we could not get a cab, we had to be picked up from the studio.
By Gorilla.
With Gorilla, yeah.
That was good times. That's a story for another day. This story is going to be about the sad plane or the glad plane. One of them has to be tweeted out. One of them is imminent. We're at 38 minutes. We still haven't had a real teamfight victory hard one way or the other. There's been no wipes. Everything's been 2-for-1 or 3-for-2. Baron going to spawn in 30 seconds.
Elder Dragon up as well, Afreeca.
To the bold, the rich, as I say. Let's see a super play. We've been overdue.
Afreeca right now looking to push in, try to get some vision down onto that Elder Dragon. Don't really have anything in the vicinity for the moment. They have 3 dragons to their name, so it would be a very nice pickup for them.
And I'm sure neutral fans are pretty undecided about who they want to win here. I know a lot of people love or ironically love Jin. Long tenure in the league and famous for many things, including long games. Glad playing, another great thing about them. And then you have Afreeca Freecs, who are going to Rift Rivals in a week's time, potentially off the back of multiple losing series. So for a neutral, this is probably a pretty interesting one about who you'd rather prefer to see to win. Afreeca Freecs walk up, they're leashing the Elder, Tucson on one of his walks, but there is a ward to spot it.
Well, they're not yet at half HP, Afreeca. Trying to delay this as long as possible. Tucson goes to the backside. Pulverize going to be used on Umpteen and headbutted away. Nova dragged in by the Impale, tries to escape, dashes to the side. Keen goes in, double knockup, and that's going to be the Braum eliminated. Afreeca Freecs pushing forward now as Jin start running for the hills. The Dragon could be started again. Afreeca could go to Baron. They have multiple options here. Seems like Elder is going to be the call.
They may have options, but a lot of their comp is Wombo, and the Wombo is down for a while. All their AoE abilities are on cooldown. So you don't have to surrender if you are Jin. And in fact, Jin are the ones pulling the team up top, but this is going to be a pretty fast Baron. Afreeca on the run.
They just lost that inner turret. Jin trying to try to finish this, but then they have to take the fight. They don't have the Braum. Now looking for the exit. Keen pushing
but
forward.
Achilles,
Like
all their stuff is on cooldown. That doesn't matter if Afreeca Freecs are there. They can't force. However, they can't back either. Here comes Kuro. Wait for the taunt.
They're going to be cut off. Yeah, 4-man taunt going to be coming through on all likelihood. Finds 3. Grace going low. Will get pumped as aiming goes in. Instantly finds a double kill. Now looking for a bit more as Zoan cannot escape. 3 over to the Vladimir. Umpty in the back line. Nothing that he can do. TP in onto the minions. Nova desperately just trying to clear these out, but he's just a lowly Braum versus the might of the Afreeca Freecs, and this should just be about it. Keen delaying Umpty will take him down in the end.
Animal cruelty.
Chases forward, finishes him off, and Afreeca Freecs not going to be losing the Jin today. They go the distance. They pick up their second game win, but they cannot get the match victory. 41 minutes on the clock. Afreeca Freecs will take it home.
So close, Achilles, so close for the side of Jin. They thought they'd finally taken off, and in some ways they did, but in the